Hi, yes, thanks, Amber. And as Amber said, if I haven't met you yet, hi, my name is Emily, and I am the PIC-SURE team rep here on the call today. My coworker Simran is also on the call. And so I guess to start with the democratizing data section, here's a list of just some of the studies that are currently available on the BioData Catalyst ecosystem. And just to note that some of these acronyms are from the top med freeze data sets. So if you aren't sure what they stand for, that's where they come from. And additionally, next slide, please. If you would like to search the available data sets on the ecosystem yourself, you can visit this link on the BioData Catalyst website, and you can search based on study name or accession number there. And as an additional resource here with the democratizing data, so as you're probably familiar, the BioData Catalyst ecosystem revolves around dbGaP permissions and authorization to access files and studies. And so one part of this is that in order to get access to the data, you must submit a data access request. And BioData Catalyst actually offers some resources to help you with this. And so in case you're unfamiliar, some of the components of the data access request include research use statement, non-technical summary, and then we also have a template available for the BioData Catalyst specific cloud use statement. And if you need help with this, you can always contact our help desk, and we will be publishing a guide on how to write a data access request using this language that will be available for you after the new year. And so PIC-SURE specific, some ways in which we democratize data on the ecosystem is allowing users to access the data in a new way. And so this includes in our authorized access portion. So if you've been granted access to a study, you can look at participant level counts and participant level data. And you can actually combine clinical and genomic variables in a single query to narrow down your cohort. Yes, and so as I've mentioned, the authorized access is based on the user's access to data. And yes, and hopefully coming soon, we will have a variant explorer feature, which will allow you to view the genomic data in a new and helpful way. Additionally, we have open access is the other part of the PIC-SURE platform. And this allows users that have NIH credentials, but do not have dbGaP authorization to access any data yet, to search for any clinical variable in any study and retrieve aggregate counts. So this is very helpful for exploration of data and determining which data sets to request access to. Additionally, we have actually been part of some reproducibility instances. So one of these examples is the ORCID study, which is the COVID-19 related study. And we were actually able to utilize PIC-SURE and 7 bridges to reproduce the results of the analysis of a published paper. And so we have this code publicly available on our GitHub repository, and it's linked there if you're interested in checking this out. And then next slide, please.
Yeah, Emily, we actually just had a question come into the chat. What are the requirements, or what requires NIH credentials to access to PIC-SURE?
Yes, so this is to log into BioData Catalyst in general. So I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we are moving from ERA Commons credentials to perhaps RAS login. I don't know if the other reps are able to clarify that.
Yeah, so ERA Commons is required, and the ERA Commons is what links your access to dbGaP for controlled access data. So Emily, correct me if I'm wrong, if you don't have, well, you can log in with your ERA Commons, and in PIC-SURE you can access open access data if you don't have any controlled access, but you still need to log in with your ERA Commons ID.
Correct, absolutely correct. Yep, so yes, it is the NIH ERA Commons that you will need to log into the ecosystem as a whole. And then if you don't have approved access from dbGaP, to access patient level data from a specific study, you can use open access to get aggregate counts and kind of click around and explore these studies. Yep, thanks, Tony. And did that answer the question, I believe? Awesome. All right, and then the next instance of reproducibility that I have with PIC-SURE is actually for a sickle cell disease related study. And so recently we collaborated with a sickle cell disease researcher to use PIC-SURE and Terra to conduct analytic research on this data set. And so we were able to introduce the BioData Catalyst user to the tools available in PIC-SURE and Terra to build upon their existing work. And we actually were able to create a Jupyter notebook using the PIC-SURE API to perform this analysis, or to narrow down the cohort and then export to the workspace in Terra. And this manuscript is actually in preparation, and a portion of this notebook, so setting up the data and how to use the PIC-SURE API, is also available on our public GitHub repository.
All right. So for Gen 3, we've been very busily ingesting lots of new data sets. And so when a user logs in with their NIH credentials, they'll see access to the studies they have available to them. There should be 147 projects that range from top mid-parent studies and whole genome data sets to other studies such as COVID-19 data sets and these BioLink data sets that we've been bringing in recently. We also have 4 exchange areas from dbGaP that are available for freezes 1, 8, 9b, and 10a. And in all, when a user arrives at Gen 3, they'll see that we have 3.57 petabytes of data across over 600,000 files available to the user. Next slide. So Gen 3, we've been really all about improving the data ingestion pipeline. As seen from the chart or the graph to the side, we've had shorter time periods between the release production. We started a release schedule where we tried to aim for a monthly release. And after that was enacted, where the blue vertical line is located, we are starting to see a downward trend. We're not waiting for as many data sets to then release to production. So we can have a shorter turnaround and make data more quickly available for all users. This has been improved by also having better ingestion pipelines for dbGaP studies that are a little bit more normal and formulaic, as well as we also am working on our QA automation pipeline and QA checks. And so for Gen 3 in the upcoming year, we're working on more options for exporting all of our Gen 3 data to other analysis portals.